Today we're going to be going up to John's Rock. We are in the parking area of the fish hatchery located in Pisgah National Forest. And let's see, I can't see the rock from right here. You can see it up through the trees there. But that's where we're going to go. And this is the trailhead. This is Cat Gap Loop. There's actually another way up if you go up the the other side of it. There is another access, but I like this one. And so, like I say, you start here in the parking lot of the fish hatchery in Pisgah National Forest, and we parked on the far end. You can see the building way down there at the other end where the National Forest is. It is a beautiful fall day here in the end of November after Thanksgiving, and you can see the parking lot is absolutely full of people. The fish hatchery is closed, so all of these people are either biking, camping, or hiking. So we'll head up the mountain here.
I know, but tell me.
You are here. Right there.
Up here.
So
it is considered a
John's Rock
trail.
is right up there to the blue. So we walk up and then back down.
Dad?
Okay.
That Jake dog may not be alive anymore.
Where's John?
He may have fallen off. Fun until you hit the ground. He would still be having fun with it. He was like, I'm flying!
The trail sets off right down here along the Davidson River.
Dad, have I been here before?
You can see the river down there. Lots of people fly fish this section.
Dad, it looks familiar.
This is called the Cat Gap Loop. There's actually several trails you can take from this location. But John's Rock definitely has a beautiful view that's well worth the hike up. And Cat Gap Loop is, as it says, a nice loop. So, but I typically just do the John's Rock. Anyway, so from the end of the parking lot, you just follow it along, and you'll come to a fork right here by the, a little creek crossing, and you just, the trail can go to the right, but they're fine. The trail can go to the right, but we'll actually cross the little bridge. As far as the difficulty of the hike, it's not an extremely difficult hike. It's all uphill going up, obviously, all downhill coming back out. There are some pretty steep sections. If you're toting a backpack, you'll feel it as you hike up through there. If you're just doing a day hike and all you have is a water bottle, which about all I tote on something like this, and you could do it without even a water bottle. Once you're hydrated before you leave, it's not like you're going to thirst to death on a hike like this. Anyway, it's not a hard hike. It's not a lazy jaunt around a lake shore, but it's also not like another hike I do here in Pisgah called Old Butt Knob, where it's just brutal as you climb. This one's just how do you describe something like this? Because it's difficult. If you're somebody that never steps out in the forest, never goes on a hike, you might think it's an extremely difficult hike. But if you're somebody like me who hikes a lot, then you think it's just an average hike. So I think that's the key. If you never ever go for hikes out in the forest, if you never ever go for hikes in the forest, you're going to find it to be a good, solid hike. If you hike a lot, then you're going to find it to be a nice, leisurely, fun hike that will catch your interest and has plenty to look at. So my 3 kids make it without any trouble. I always like these little creek crossings. Can't even see the creek, but it sure is pretty. We're still following along the riverside. We've been climbing a little bit. Still, it's over to our left here. You can hear it. Here soon, we'll turn and we'll head up a, if you're from out west, they'd call it a canyon. Here in the east, we call it a holler. Or here in the southeast, we call it a holler. And we have turned and gone up the side valley up through here, and we're now following this small little creek, which is beautiful. And we're down, mountain rises up on either side of us. We kind of have this very sloping valley down to the creek, and then it sharply climbs up on both sides. So you can see the type of trail that we're following through here. Stair-stepped with roots, a few rocks here and there. I think we only have one where we physically have to cross the creek on the whole route, but it's one where you can cross it and not even get your feet wet. Of course, the water's up a little bit today. Here we are at the creek crossing. Just gorgeous here. Okay, like I say, easy to cross. Okay, so here we are, not far after the creek crossing. We come up here and you see you get a trail there. And the trail goes that way, but we go straight across. Okay. The next turn is right here. Now you can go straight up to the gap and take a right, and it takes you right up very quickly up to the top, or you can turn this way to the right, and this takes you a more gentle route up to the top, but it's longer, so it's really whichever one you want to do. We're going to go up this way, and then we'll come out the other way. Okay, still climbing here. This is one of the longer, harder climbs, we'll say, along this portion of the trail. The site side slope, but we are getting close. You can see a change in vegetation. Trees are a little bit more sparse, and the mountain laurel is on this little ridge line here. Once we get to the top, it's all mountain laurel. The rhododendron's to our left, mountain laurel's to our left or right. It's a pretty distinct change in vegetation. So, but it makes for an interesting hike because you come out of the river bottom where it's the bottomland, trees and growth, and things are huge, 3-foot diameter trees, things like that. Then you head up to the top here where you have some big trees, but the undergrowth's a little bit more sparse. The vegetation's a little different. Everything's a little smaller because it's a little harsher, a little less water. Granted, you are in western North Carolina right now with this, where water is abundant, but in this sort of setting, the ridge lines drain off a little quicker, a little rockier than the bottomland, so things don't grow as big and fast. So, okay.
Boy, I bet this is pretty.
If we'd seen it about a month ago, during the leaf drop, it would have been gorgeous.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, on the trip up to John's Rock, this is about the only downhill section going in or up to the rock. And it is wet and muddy, and so you can see down here, they've built all these little bridges to get you across this water. We're about to the rock here. You can see it really opens up here, the vegetation does, and it's just gorgeous. We're close to the rock. There are a couple of spur trails to the right that lead over to the actual rock face. You can't, they don't have signs or anything that say rock over here, but I should have gotten a picture of it. There is a sign right before this point that says keep dogs on leash, slick rock or whatever, and that's kind of your cue that you're getting to the rock face. And so the trail skirts along through the woods behind it or above it, and then you take one of the little spurs to the right over and you look on it. The rock kind of curves downward. It slopes and then curves downward.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You know, this is an example of what heads over to the rock face. We'll head up to another one up here.
The one with the rhododendrons that we saw last time.
Well, any one of them will go over there.
Well, yeah.
And then we can come out at that upper one. So. Okay. Yep. All right.
Every time you go up here, like
We're here. All right, this is the top
Where's Grandma?
of John's Rock.
Come on up, Mom.
And it's gorgeous. It's just unbelievable.
John, will you stand back? You're making me nervous. I'm sorry.
So we've proceeded on up from the rock. We're gonna actually do the loop. So we came in the one way, as I mentioned before. And now, oh, excuse me. Now we keep walking up till we crest or summit the top of John's Rock, the back of it. And it's beautiful up here. You can see it's fall time, all the leaves have dropped. These are blueberry bushes, and they're about waist high on me. You can see now we start heading back down. Now to get down, this route is a lot quicker. It's a lot sharper drop. There is a four-way trailhead up here, trail crossing. Once we hit that, we take a left, and it takes us the rest of the way back down. So it's a big loop. So you can camp up here. Probably easiest to plan on hammock camping just in case you run out of places, because they're only the one campsite that's easy, so the others are sloped. As you hike out the other side, there, especially this time of year, there are lots of opportunities to enjoy the views. It takes a little while once you pass the rock to summit. The rest of the way up to the hill, this little spur spot, to summit, the rest of the way up the hill, but once you do, then the backside drops pretty quick. We're just now reaching the final summit before we head down. But the nice thing about coming this way is you not only get the view of John's Rock, but you get the view, 360-degree view at this time of year, of all the mountains around. And it's just spectacular. It's always deceptive how these trails are on the camera, but this drops very quickly down this side of the hill. And once we hit the bottom down there, we take a left. It's just beautiful with massive trees until you connect back down to the Cat Gap Loop and follow the same route out that you followed in. It is well worth your time to visit John's Rock. I would recommend, if you do want to hike this trail, to give yourself 2.5 to 3 hours in order to spend some time at the rock and enjoy the beautiful views. Thank you for watching. If you found this review helpful and enjoyed watching it, please subscribe